Hello everyone, this is Darin Martineau here from ProMagicArt.com, and in today's podcast I'm going to talk about some magic theory, and I'm going to talk about the meaning of magic. And I want to start off by recommending some books if you don't have them already. The book by Eugene Berger and Robert E. Neal called Magic and Meaning is a great book. Another great book by James Ian Swiss is Shattering Illusions. Maximum Entertainment by Ken Weber, Neo Magic Artistry by S.H. Sharp, Strong Magic by Darwin Ortiz, Magic and Showmanship by Henny Nelms, and there's several other books that I will be recommending on my website and in other podcasts and videos. So we're going to start off with a quote by S.H. Sharp, and that is, "The underlying purpose of magic in its many aspects is not to deceive people, but to encourage them to approach life and cosmos in a state of wonder." Okay, Doug Henning also said similar things as well, and we hear from many of the great masters of magic these types of quotes. I want to talk about another quote from Henny Nelms from the 1969 book Magic and Showmanship. He says on magic theory, "Interest depends entirely on meaning. The degree of interest that the spectators take in any performance is in direct proportion to its meaning for them. The more meaning you can pack into a presentation, the more interest it will excite. Conjuring puzzles have a special weakness. When a spectator meets the challenge by solving the puzzle, the conjurer loses. When the spectator fails, he regards the conjuring puzzle like any other puzzle. He gives up and feels entitled to be told the answer. This places a performer in an insolvable dilemma. If he refuses to divulge his secret, the spectators feel frustrated and resentful. If the conjurer yields, the explanation seems so trivial that they feel let down. When we supply a meaning, we eliminate the challenge and the puzzle becomes secondary. After the climax, the spectator may wonder how it was achieved. But even then, the puzzle element is greatly weakened. In fact, if the meaning is made strong enough, many spectators may not even realize that there is any puzzle to solve at all. And that involves whether you're using a story or poetry. I'll give great examples of this, so to put it in context. I'm going to recommend some effects. If you don't know them already, you can go research them out. Jeff McBride has some videos that he put out many years ago. It's called The Magic of Jeff McBride, and it was a double videos. In there he has an effect called The Greatest Illusion Ever Created, money, and it's effect with a bill. Many people do like torn restored cards, and there's nothing wrong with that. I do that as well, but when we're structuring our presentations, we want to do it in a way where we're going to put in more meaning and interest. And one way to do that, which was taught to me by one of my mentor, which is Roger Klaus, is to use a borrowed bill instead of a card, because that changes it and it adds more meaning because it's their bill. It adds an emotional hook into it. Okay. Another way to add in meaning is through poetry. There's all kinds of great poetry. Okay. I use a lot of it in my magic as well. One example from Tarbell Volume 3 on page 153 is called The Ubiquitous Coin. I've put that into my version of Three Fly as well. There's many other examples, okay, in stories. There's Bughouse Poker from Lou Brooks. There's Silas and the Slickers, which Jeff McBride and many others have used. There's lots of ways you can use either a story or a presentation to add meaning, and however you're going to approach it. Now, here's some elements of the magical experience. Okay, one is the unexpected aspects, okay? The element of surprise. When we repeat our magic, what that does is we condition the audience, okay, to dissimulation and other principles, because what's going to happen is when we use misdirection or time delay misdirection, okay, when we use the repetition, that sets the audience up, not always, but most of the time, for example, in the ambitious card, where they know what's going to happen next, it's going to be on top again. So maybe it will be in a more impossible place or something like this. That's where the element of surprise comes in. We can use it to our advantage, but we have to be careful because it could also be to our disadvantage. And that is called anticlimatic effects. Okay, in order to know what magic is, we have to eliminate what it is not. And many people like Eugene Berger and the people in all these books will say that, and I'm going to add to that. Not going to take away from it, we're going to add to it. I was reading Tarbell Volume 1 the other day, and in the book, Tarbell was talking about the attitude of the professional and a lot of different things. You can look in there, and he's got some really, really incredible things. He's one of the greatest teachers of magic, of course. And if you want to look that up, it's in Lesson 2, Magic as a Science, on page 45, where he talks about many different things, magic as a science. He goes into the professional attitude. He goes into practice every day. He goes into confidence, practicing faithfully, do not overlooking the smallest details, naturalness in performing, the power of suggestion. He goes over psychology. I mean, there's so many things to go over. It would take a long time to go over these things, but what I'm alluding to in this is not only in the art of misdirection, but it's in leaving a lasting impression. It's in adding more meaning to your magic. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay. One simple way, which I've seen a lot of magicians make the mistake, is if they're not good at pattern script and they don't have the gift of the gab and all that, and they just don't like to, talk in their magic, do a silent act, add in music. There's all kinds of things you can do. You can do like the effects, like the bandana effect with the vanishing banana. It's a comedy effect used for kids, but I've seen people use that in different shows, and they're not even talking. It's a voiceover. So there's all kinds of great solutions that we can do. Okay, the next element in the magical experience is clarity and direct effects. Okay, magic is not confusion, and people like Dai Vernon and many masters have talked about that. So it's not a puzzle, and it's not confusing. Therefore, we have to have clarity and direct effects. Therefore, we have to focus. That means if what you're saying is more important than what you're doing, then stop what you're saying while you're doing the actions, and vice versa. Okay? Now, magic is not a puzzle to be solved, but a mystery to be experienced. Let me say that again. Magic is not a puzzle to be solved, but a mystery to be experienced. Okay, our attitudes towards the audience and the mystery will reflect on how the audience views the magic, if they view it as a mystery or as a challenge. Okay, now I'm going to recommend some effects, okay, at the end of this, and I'm going to use a simple example of the bill. Well, I'm a fan of that for street magic, and there's many different contexts, restaurant magic, whatever magic that you do, even if you do stage show and you have some close-up in it, you can do stuff with a bill. I'm a big fan of that because you do the borrowed bill. Whether you do a borrowed bill, a borrowed ring, when you do a borrowed effect, it's very strong because now you're doing magic with the spectator's sentimental belonging, okay? So in other podcasts, I'm going to go into the master keys of the Surreal Illusion system. What I'd like you to do is like, subscribe, and share this video. If you'd like to find out more, go to promagicart.com, and thank you very much.